Thank you for taking the time to look at LeaseScan for Windows for your dealership. I'm going to show you today how easy the software is to use, explain some functionality of it, and most importantly how to increase your leasing penetration in your dealership. Main background screen that you're looking at is what the software looks like when you first start it up. You also may have the opportunity to have independent login, user login IDs. I've just got some generic names in here right now. I'm just going to go ahead and click on General Manager. General Manager, there's three different settings that you can have in the software: a system administrator level, full access, and of course a salesperson level, which doesn't allow them to go in and change any defaults that upper level management may have in place. Main background, what you're looking at here, across the top we've got new, open, recent. This is just our main startup page. Wherever I put this mouse, you'll see I've got these little yellow tooltips that come up and explain to you what each function is going to be. When we install your software, we do it remotely. We do everything remotely, and just as another courtesy savings and more convenient for everybody involved. We don't have to send people out traveling to your stores. We can do it instantly as soon as you contact us, either at our support number or you call us on the sales line as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and just work a new deal right from the get-go. I'm going to select new. You'll see right away that I've got a pop-up come up that says retrieve vehicles from inventory or specify a vehicle not in inventory. This is simply to show you that we do offer integration with a couple of the top DMS providers out there in the business. I'm just going to go ahead and build out a vehicle manually. Of course, we do offer both new and used, which is going to be your certified pre-owned as well as your used vehicles. I'm going to select a new vehicle. We'll do a 2011. I've got every make and model listed here, or make it anyway. You can tailor this to just your makes. If you're a Chevy, Buick, GMC store, you can have just those showing up as well. So I'm going to select a Chevy. I'll take one of those new Cruise LS's just for comparison purposes here, and you'll see that it came up with a window sticker. This is just simply because it remembered the last time I built this vehicle out what MSRP I had used. It has a cache memory system where it'll actually save a combination of 10 different MSRPs, discount package, and vehicle costs per vehicle if they all have different MSRP and invoice amounts. So that's per model. So you can have a pretty large cache memory base there. So basically looking, I got a $17,000 MSRP. I don't have a discount package input, $16,300 and an invoice cost. House pack, again, that's a default if that's something that your dealership utilizes. Initial miles, which is really not a big deal unless you go over 500 miles. The vehicle has over 500 miles, especially on new. It's going to pick up any demo, any miles it needs to reduce the front side residual to get that done. Stock number field here, again, if you're going to have the integration to the DMS, it's going to go ahead and populate that as well. Over here on the right hand side, just a taste of what I'm going to show you here. We also do a simultaneous retail and leasing function, so you're going to be able to see both payments on the screen at all times. So we get in pretty depth about our desking platforms that we have for your end customer, what you can show your customers. But basically at this point, what I want to do is drop down here to the bottom left and hit the calc button. This is going to go and calculate a deal. Now you'll realize I didn't put in a selling price, I didn't put in cash down from the customer, miles per year. The reason is because our software is default sensitive to each user. Remember when I signed in as general manager, that actually just signed in just like you would sign in as your own name, of course with password protection if you wanted to. You're going to get unlimited usage at your dealership. Now we can't do that if you've got 10 dealerships, but we do it per rooftop. So if you have 13 computers in there, your pricing is going to be the same as listed on the website here. Basic real estate layout, what you're looking at on the screen. Across the top in the green bar, you can see that I'm actually calculating a single retail finance payment. This is going to be imperative when we get into our desking applications to see how and where these monies and payments are coming from. You can see I've got it defaulted to a 60-month term, a full window sticker calculation at my first pass, 9.9 APR. 17,000 finance, and then my retail payment of $360 there. Down here in the blue bar and all the information slotting below it is actually my lease and or balloon payment. So if you do for Mercedes, you have balloon, maybe down the road GM will get back involved with the GM Financial or any of the other lenders as well. But basically you'll see that I've got listed out here a number of different lenders: GM Financial, U.S. Bank, GM Subvented Program, Ally, U.S. Bank Standard Program, Han. I picked one of these Northeast dealers so you can take a peek at kind of the different function that they do out there. We do a strong amount of business in the Northeast, so this is kind of one of the reasons I had it default set up for, I believe, a New Jersey dealership, and so on. So you can see LI Standard Program as well. Again, basically looking at all the information, I'm still doing a full window sticker deal on the selling price, base profit, which is simply my front-end retail profit, if you will, or front-end gross profit on the lease. I have a rate profit field here, currently defaulting to 0 rate profit. You can default it to whatever you want. If I clicked on the column header here, you could see I could do a dollar amount, I could do a percent of cap cost, I can maximize what's the most money the lender will allow me to take, and the dollar amount that will show up there is actually after the lender split on what they take. Or you can simply, if you know the lender you want to work with and the exact rate bump that the lender does, you can actually put that in there as well. So you can have that function to whatever, and I'll get into that more here as we move on. Middle column here, real important, highlighted in white going north and south. You can see that I'm actually sorting the information by the lowest payment available to me. I've got 10 different ways that I can sort this information. Simply, if I click the sort button down here, it will give me a menu selection of what I could choose. If I wanted to sort them all by term, for example, then total payment. So it puts all my 24, 36, 39, 48. Again, the terms that I've got selected right now, and you'll see me do this throughout the demonstration. When I click on any of these column headers, such as term or total payment, that have the yellow background, the text background, I can open up a functional window there. So I never have to leave my calculation screen to make any adjustments that I've got available. You can see I've got every term, every 3-month interval term that I have available here. I could quickly select a 12-month, a 6-month, 3-month, and all term. Nice thing about that, that picks up every consecutive term going forward. And also a custom term. If you're not into looking at every single term, but for example somebody's offering a 37-month, which is just a non-traditional term, you could absolutely put that in there and take a look at that, as well as 12 and 18 months, which aren't displayed here. For a lot of our higher end import companies do that. Otherwise I can simply go back and say just use my default lenders that I had there on the screen. Again, more sort features. If I wanted to do sort by lender, then term, then total payment, it'll put all my lenders in alphabetical order and then numerically in their terms and going down from there. But simply I like to go back just by lowest payment. Your customer cares about the payment and so do we. So again, all default sensitive based on the way you and your user login follows you in the store. Now again, keep in mind, well, this is unlimited usage in your dealership. So the nice thing about that is if you go to another workstation that isn't at your desk and you log into LeaseScan, you're going to be able to see your screen the way you set it up, your default. So you don't have to go back to your own PC, for lack of a better term. You can go anywhere in the dealership as long as you sign in your own name. You'll see everything the way that you like it, and another coworker may be able to have theirs set up whatever way they want, and they can keep it their way as well. But basically going across here, I've got miles per year. I have defaulted at 15,000. Of course, each user can default to whatever they want. If I want to do 12,000 miles a year, I make the adjustment. If I want to do the lowest miles per year offered by every lender out there, it's going to start picking up these 10,000 mile a year programs. And again, the higher line programs, Porsche, they get into 5,000 miles a year. Mercedes and Porsche do 7,500 and so on. So you again have that custom feature where you can go into it. And again, you can go into 20,000 miles, 25,000 miles a year. I know Volkswagen offers some TDI on their diesels that are unlimited mileage. So you can pick up a lot of those programs there as well for doing that. Acquisition fees, you can see if it's being required. If it's not, you can choose to have that into the cap cost. And for my demonstration, I have it into the cap cost. You can, of course, select a default to always charge it up front. So it's part of your total cash due that the customer is going to have to pay you today. Security deposit. If the lender is requiring a security deposit, you can see that the standard program for Ally in this case is a requirement for that. I can go and, of course, I can waive all that. If I want to say, normal upfront money from the customer, but this time let's take advantage of any security deposit waiver program. And then again, it's going to know, our system automatically knows to bump the rates accordingly for the right function, so you're never left out in the cold, but as long as we're performing for you. One pays, you want to do a one pay here. Again, let's put our focus over here. Whatever column highlighted in white basically tells you the way that we're sorting the information. So again, this is going to do any rate reductions that are being offered by the lender, so you'll have that full function to see that the best place to go in this case is with GM Financial on this one at 24 months, $64.76 out the door. Is going to prepay that lease at 24 months for you. If I want to do zero out of pocket instead, so I can switch it to a zero. Customer doesn't bring us any money today, and we see that notated over here. How that works, of course, is you can't legally do that, so you must have to roll those monies into the gross cap or the selling price there. And you see that function's being done there. Effectively, it's increasing the monthly payment opposed to what it was before. Let me go switch it back to what it was before, and we'll see that now the payments have adjusted because we're not increasing that cap cost amount to get that feature done. If I want to do a specific amount of money out of pocket, say the customer tells me, you know what, I'm going to bring $1,500, write you a check for $1,500. This time it's going to go and lock in $1,500 with every lender. And it's going to move the money around to make sure we're covering upfront payment, any security deposit that may be necessary. It'll actually do a calculation to show you with and without security deposit to make sure you're doing your customer the best way and, of course, retaining the highest profit for your dealership. Any monies left over are going to be notated over here as cash down payment. So it's applying the extra money left over to the cap cost. So we know that we're always given the most competitive payment based on the function. Now, of course, you can go in and structure this around, increase your profits or whatever if if that's the direction you want to go. But by default, it's going to go ahead and do the deal that way for you. So I'm just going to go back and simply take it back to the original structure that I had. Again, miles per year, term we see there, total payment. I can roll this payment a lot of different ways. Before I get into that, you'll see again back over here with their AC fee. We've got other lenders that sometimes on a special they won't charge an AC fee or they don't charge a security deposit. Our system automatically picks it up. We get all the programs from these lenders and or our dealer partners to get that updated for you, so we always have the most accurate information for you. We guarantee your information, which is important and imperative. Again, based on the price that you see here on the website, you're going to be stunned to see that it's a month-to-month agreement. We're not doing any long-term agreements. It's truly a month-to-month, 30-day cancellation and guarantee of information. We've completely put the ball back into the dealer's court. Our performance is going to be proven to every customer that we have, and every day our dealer base is growing exponentially for us, so we're real proud of that as well. But to get back to it, if I wanted to roll a payment, for example, let's say I wanted to roll to a $200 a month payment. I could simply do that. And then it asks me, how do I want to get there? Do I want to adjust my profit to get there? Rate profit, cash down from the customer, analyze for highest profit achieved while hitting that desired payment. Well, I'm going to go to the customer's cash because it's a lower end unit MSRP wise. So I'm going to go $200 every payment. And again, this is going to structure the deal for me to show me who is going to offer me the best payment for my target payment of $200 a month. And we see that GM Financial comes up with a 39-month, 15,000 mile a year, $835 out the door, and that's taking any monies that it needed to get that payment done. So I mean, you can see, especially in this scenario that I'm using with the Chevy Cruze, there's a lot of competition out there between lenders. Same thing happens with Chrysler, and then we get involved to other different companies, which is good news for everyone involved. Leasing is back. The percentages are back. It's going to be back to nearly a third, we're hoping, in the next 24 months of all vehicles that are reported sold are coming out as lease units. So I mean, we're real excited about that, getting us kind of back in towards the heyday, but again, more with the realistic numbers rather than the ridiculous numbers that we saw before with outrageous residuals, people buying deals, lenders buying deals, and they got in trouble and ended up going out of business. So it's a real good platform where everybody's at right now, and it's just it's a win-win for everyone else involved. I'm going to take some time here just to quickly show you here if I wanted to adjust the selling price. Maybe I'm not going to sell this for a full sticker deal. I can simply click one button here and uncheck that I've got it default to do a full list window sticker deal. Maybe on this one I'm going to take it down to a $300 profit. By changing that, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now, when I switch the change, you see in my payment up here, I also actually do have a default, but I don't have set for this lender to match retail. So that was my mistake on that. Normally I have that set up for you. But generally, when you make that change, it's going to simultaneously change that payment level for you as well. Again, a function. You may not want to do that. You may not want to have one button change everything for yourself. So we give you that functionality to where you can, if you want to leave a retail payment higher but show a different lower price cap cost price in your lease, because you don't have to disclose that up front when you're initially working the deal, so you don't have to do that. Another thing, if I wanted to go and adjust my APR, I could absolutely do that. Let's say we switch it to 6.9, or they're offering a 1.9 or 0%. Just got to click on that column header to make that adjustment to get that done. Quite simply, I mean, that's basically what you're looking at here from this main function screen. So I'm going to show you some other tools that all of our dealers use every day. The main one I'm going to get into is our desking platform, because we're real proud of what we brought, and our dealers are closing more deals every day with this. Simply what I did, I went down here, I clicked on Tools, gave me a menu selection of what I could choose from, and I'm going to enter into the multi-quote desking program. And you can see when I get into that, I've got different default levels here for APRs, and they're kind of mixed all over the board. I can choose different down payment amounts here in the top half here, because these are for loan payments. So you can see that it's actually calculating this APR, this money down, and so on going across. Basically what we're structuring here, if the customer wants a lower payment, well, rather than give up profit all the time, let's go to their side and say, well, it's going to take some more cash to get this done. Down here in the lower portion, you're going to be able to see as well that we've got our different lease payments. Again, I've only got 4 terms turned on the back screen, so again, it's only going to show you. I have the ability to show up to 20 different retail payments and 20 different lease payments, either with multiple cash downs or multiple cap cost reductions down here as well. So you have, again, that ability to show that much. Well, I'm going to go ahead and trigger this and say I want to look at the desk quote piece. Since I discounted it, it gives you a pop-up. I can actually, for your dealership, I can put in there ABC, let's put in all caps, ABC Motors discount. So this will print out in the form as well that we're discounting at $400. Once I put that in once, it'll stay there for you for your dealership name or however you want to trigger that. So here's our main piece. This is called our desk quote piece. A real nice function piece. You can see that across top it time date stamps this. The vehicle model that we use, the stock number populated if either you had input a stock number or we actually pulled it from your DMS. Bottom here is full sale detail. Again, this is a full disclosure form, which is important for states like Wisconsin, Florida, California, where they're very consumer-oriented for that. But you can see what we did, gave a discount, bottom line the thing. I don't have this deal set up with any sales tax structure for right now, but believe me, you can have any sales tax structure you want. Doing this in the Northeast, you have all your New York, your New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and so on. I mean, your snowbirds from Florida, we'll put it in there for you. It's real customized to you, and that's what we do during the installation process and our ongoing support that we offer to you. Full sale detail on the left. Over here on the right is basically how do you want to take care of the balance. You have the cash option here up on top where you can show customer wants to write a check, here's what it's going to be out the door. Here's the different APR formats if they want to do payments. Again, the same thing we had on the staging screen before where we could select the different APRs. You don't have to show APRs. Again, that's a function. You can turn those off so you're not displaying those. These are all PDFs that you see, which is nice because you can print these out from your printer, you can save them, heck, you can even email them right from here to your customer. Great for your BDC department and stuff like that because you can save these as files on your desktop. You don't have to print them off, scan them back, fax them back to yourself, that whole 9 yards. You can actually get in, do it, and I mean, technology-wise, we're right there. We're ready to go with you. So again, you can review up to 20 different retail payments down here, cap cost reductions, as well as up to 20 different lease and or balloon payments. In this case, it's just lease payments right now. So I can go and close that down. I have another function which is a zero disclosure type form. This is called our multi-quote payment form. So you can see here there's not even a selling price listed on this. It's straight payments. And again, APR is being shown here. If I don't want to show that, I don't have to. I can go in here and adjust my display and say, you know what, I want to get rid of my APRs, which you see they've now been removed right here, and I can go back to my screen and they're simply taken off. They used to be here, they're no longer. So you see that there's a space. We even have a void here that you have the ability to show the money factor there, because we know at some point maybe down the road legislation is going to change where we're going to have to either show a factor, or worst case scenario, we're going to have to put a conversion in there, the effective APR of what those money factors are. So again, forward thinking, that's what our company is all about, trying to stay on top of the technology, trying to foresee the future for them. So we can close that down as well. If I don't want to show all those different payments, I certainly don't have to. If I want to just select one payment here to compare it to this 39-month, I click each section. You'll see they each go to the yellow. If I select that, now when I print out, I've just got a single retail payment here with the APR and the single lease payment and what it is effectively. You know, you don't have to show 40 payments. It may be too much information for your customer. You don't have to show all these columns. That's why we have these neat little functions over here where we can turn off certain lenders' terms. Maybe I don't want to disguise it. I want to show 6 retail payments, 6 lease payments, and that's all I'm going to show right there. So now when it comes up, it's simple, it's clean, it's clear, it's nice for the customer. You're not bogging them down with too much information. You know, it's the road to the sale. We're trying to help with that. We're trying to speed the process up for that. So basically, we've got those pieces that I showed you there. You know, if you are interested and you're not using, maybe you're with a warranty company and they provide you with their own software, that's great. We do have a full function retail sales menu program, which is completely customizable by you. Each store can have their own thing. You can see that we get into the desking platform down here with effectively showing what would happen. You know, we're comparing this to a 60-month retail. What if we extended it 66 months? No different than your finance personnel do in the business office. They actually do the same thing. You know, they're looking to keep that payment focus down to where they originally were quoted, but still giving them those added benefits, added features of etch, of gap, of you know, warranties. That's all available. Again, that's available for cash, retail, balloon, and lease. We have all those functions for you. Other simplistic stuff that we had for years and we still keep going with. We have the simple A/B comparison. Again, I'm just going to put this in the PDF print format for you. You can see over here on the left-hand side, we've got the lease, and over here on the right-hand side, we've got the retail, effectively what the payments would be. Another simplistic format we've got, actually is a little bit more intensive, is the lease versus buy comparison. This actually gets into the time value of money of why leasing exists in the first place. It takes a snapshot. Of course, we're comparing this to a 60-month retail, but in this case, we're doing a 39 months of 60 months. So at 39 months down the road, compared to our 39-month term at the end of 39 months, we're looking at the cost of purchase at that point. You know, we've got a payment differential of $120 a month. So we can see that there's a resale value differential. There's a total cost of purchase, total cost of lease, which is huge. It's $4,000 over 39 months, and a completely you know, nice piece here. Again, the PDF. You can print this off for your customer while they're in the store, or you can simply email this, save it, and email it to them. Another great piece we've got, which is you may have seen for a Chrysler dealership, very similar to the Better Way presentation, training organization. They train off of this format. Again, lease versus buy comparison, same idea. This just gets a little bit more involved to where you can understand a little bit easier you know, what your options would be down the road after that 39-month commitment, depending on the resale value at that point when that term is up. You know, if it's increased, if the resale value is higher than what you owe on it, you could keep it, you could turn it in, or trade it or sell it if it has gone maybe the you know, the other way as well, where it's gone negatively, where your residual value is actually higher than what the resale value is. So that's just another nice presentation piece. A lot of function here, userability for your dealerships, for your dealership anyway. It's all about providing the right information, the road to the sale for the customer, and making it as simple as possible. Detail screen. I'll just quickly show this. This is more of a detail of the deal. This one does not have profit showing on it. That is on purpose. So I'll go and show you again another PDF printout of that, and you can see that we're showing pretty much all the nuts and bolts of the deal. If you've got one of those customers that are like that and they want to get into it and see a breakdown of it, you can do that. But this one protects you and it doesn't show any profits. Hopefully you're making a decent amount of profit on that. I've got a recap feature here, which does show the profit levels, the all internals. So this is a great piece to print out, put in your deal jacket when you're packaging this thing up and send it to either F&I, or maybe this is already being done in the F&I office, but just have it in the deal jacket as a receipt, if you will, for what you've done in LeaseScan here. Forms, we have the ability to print all your contract forms for leasing, including title forms for you. So we'll do your captive format printing. This is all inclusive to the pricing that you see on the website, so please take advantage of that. Export. This export button here is the other side of the DMS integration that we do offer. The nice piece about that is we can take everything that you're seeing here, including customer information, which I haven't gotten into for time-sensitive purposes here on this demo, to basically show you that you can upload all this information. Customer name, address, garaging, insurance information will all push over to your top tier DMS providers that you're using in the dealerships today. So again, that's the other function that is available with that. There is a premium charge for that. It is not included in the pricing that is available on the internet, but call our sales department. Be more than happy to discuss those with you. We've got a limits feature here, which is great because it shows the limitations of each lender that you want to show up. You know, excess mileage after the lease. Real quick way to reference that. This is kind of our textbook, our rule book, if you will, that we have to abide by from the lenders that give us the information, so we're accurately portraying the information. Again, we're guaranteeing this stuff for you, so we want to be absolutely precise in the information that we're providing for you. So other than that, I'll just quickly skip back here. Again, we did see the vehicle screen where we did have the MSRP vehicle cost. We've got a rebate screen here. I didn't get into that. Again, time sensitivity. We've got dealer cash over here on the left-hand side. We've got customer cash, the public information. So in here you would input, for example, if you're using any of the standard rate programs, the non-incentivized programs, you would input the cash rebate here that the customer would be able to use. Down here, this would be for your captive lender, that lease cash, CCR, whatever the denomination that they call it. If you're doing balloons, they offer balloon rebate. You have another field there. You get a special rebate for those independent lenders that offer subvention, for example. So you've got, in this case, we've got U.S. Bank, of the lenders that I've got selected here, that utilize their subvention program. So they have a manufacturer subvention program, but may also utilize a rebate with that. So it's accurately doing an apples to apples to apples comparison every time that you're going in and making a calculation, which is crucial when being competitive, because the customer has proven to us that they're not afraid to go travel a little bit and go to another dealership to get a competitive rate. So we want to make sure we got the customer in the store. We've got a captive audience, and we're doing our best job and giving them the best information that we possibly can. We've got a dealer installed equipment option, which is hard adds. If you want to go in and add any hard adds that are available with the lender, you can go in and definitely do that. Those are variable function with the different lenders that you're using, the different makes or models. Only generally the options will show up for the type of car you're using and the lenders that you're using them for. Going across these multicolored tabs across the top here, terms and profits. Again, this is going to look like a lot of review. There's two ways to go and structure a deal. When we started this deal off, I'll just start over here. We built this vehicle off. We said 2011. We selected the Chevrolet. We did the Cruze LS. Rather than just simply calculating this deal, because there's not everyone's the same, and then go through here and say, okay, now I want to adjust my miles per year and see it. Now I want to do something with the AC fee. I want to do something with the base profit, rate profit, stuff like that. I can go across these multicolored tabs and make all these changes at once, such as I want to do just a 36-month lease. I'm going to do a max rate profit calculation. I know that I'm going to make a $500 profit on the lease in this calculation. I want to make sure that I'm waiving all security deposits when I'm doing that. 12,000 miles a year. I can make all these selections all at the same time, hit calculate, and that's all I'm looking at. All of them simultaneously done. So to each his own, to how you want to do that with the back end that you see, and which is interesting enough because you'll see these rate profit amounts again being populated. This lender perhaps does not offer on their subvention any rate profit to be made on it. They're based on maybe the agreement that they have with the manufacturer. They're doing that. So a couple different looks you can get, a couple different ways you can do it. Credit and other info, just to try and just show you all the pieces that we offer here. These are great for loyalty. For other reasons other than charging maybe a security deposit, they're a previous loyal customer and they get a security deposit waiver maybe. A lot of different function that you can pick up with those. Different tiers. A lot of lenders, even though they're credit score, some are credit score driven, others are not, and they use a different scoring tiering system for that. That allow you to do it. Credit insurance. If you want to add credit disability to a deal, you can do that here. Taxes, again, you can see I had nothing defaulted for taxes on this. I can go and you can see I've got quite a menu here that I've used for default. Maybe your customer, your Wisconsin dealer, and you got 4 different sales tax zones. You can go quickly select, okay, this customer's in the 5.5%, and the format for how they tax for that. Active lenders. I've got a multitude of lenders in here for demonstration purposes, but simply you'd only have one page for yourself unless you're a very large dealer with multiple franchise lines. You would have that, but simply it would be pretty condensed down to just a few that you use in the dealership. Finally, you got a customer info. This again where I mentioned you could put a customer's name in. Let's say here Joe Schmo, for example. I want to put in that. You know, the nice thing about that, if I do put that in there and I go and I actually generate one of our desking pieces, I can apply a different salesperson's name on there, which is important because when I go to print this off now, Joe Schmo, it says here, prepared for Joe Schmo. Sales manager that did it, the salesperson working the deal. Again, paper trail, which is huge for a lot of this stuff. So again, that's a great function to have that back there. Other functions that we've got, great tools that we want to point out to you, is simply if you want a quick payoff estimator. Customer comes in, they brought their paperwork, they've got 18 months to go, the APR on their deal was 875 and their current payment was $285. Once I select that, I can calculate down here and get kind of a quick idea of what's left, what the customer owes, so we can work that accordingly. Maybe print this off, maybe have the customer sign it so we're all on the same page when you do call the lender and find out that maybe there's a variance. So this is what we discussed today, and if there is a variance, we're going to adjust accordingly. Other tools, we've got a mileage comparison. Very big right now. You know, gas, $3-4 a gallon. You know, maybe the customer comes in, they drive standard mileage, and they're trading in maybe a gas guzzler, something that they're getting 12 miles per gallon. And they're looking at this Cruise, for example, or maybe they're looking at a Honda Accord. Honda Accord maybe gets somewhere in the range of 22 miles per gallon. Let's say gas is $3.50 a gallon, and the lease that you're showing them is coming in at $325 a month. Again, just off the top, just grabbing some numbers here. When I calculate this, this is actually going to show you a fuel savings cost saver here. What the effective part about this is that we're showing they drive 15,000 miles a year. They're spending all this money in extra gas. The savings in gas can be $165 a month. So when you're showing a $325 payment and you point out that the fuel savings, their effective payment for what they're paying today is $160. I mean, that's, you know, I don't know how often you're going to find someone who's going to be jumping from a truck, drives it in the city, over to a Honda, but let's say that they find a more fuel efficient vehicle, and let's say they even go to 16 at $3.50 a gallon and even the same payment. You know, now we see that it's changed to $233 effective payment. So again, real neat tools, printable, that you can show your customer. Quick payment calculator. You don't have to get into the system to go work a deal. Right from the main menu. Someone wants to know what a quick APR is. Your salesman's over your shoulder looking for a rate. Say it's 9%. We're going to finance $32,000. Let's figure out. Let's say in this case it's 45 days out. You want to let your F&I guy make a little extra money on that. Here's your effective payment right now, $666. Again, printable, all set to go. Other than that, another function piece that you got recent deals. You can have your most 9 active recent deals if it's a busy Thursday, Monday, Saturday. You don't have to go scrolling through a huge list to find out, you know, when did this customer come in. I can search by date, all that other good stuff. So again, it's available for you. Other than that, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch a demonstration on this. If you do have any further questions, we encourage you to call. You can reach us at 888-757-5327, and feel free to watch this at any time. Thank you again.